want you to.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to touch on some of the past experiences that customers have found with Southern Water. In 2019, you committed to the regulator Ofwat that you would undertake a series of vital infrastructure projects to prevent storm overflows, to reduce pollution instances, to improve water security, as we've just been talking about. And then in 2023, Adrian, just after you became chairman, a letter was sent to the regulator Ofwat to say that you would not be taking those 100 projects forward. You would actually be delaying them further, and instead the money allocated by Thames Water for those projects was spent on other parts of the business, including paying bonuses and dividends. So, Adrian, how can customers have any confidence in your turnaround plan and in your commitment to improve your infrastructure if in just the recent history you have rowed back on commitments made to the regulator to fix this vital infrastructure and instead spent it on bonuses and dividends?
I come to bonuses and dividends in a minute. I'll talk about the decision we took in August 23 to defer this.
That was also to pay some of that money to bonuses and dividends. So the two are linked. So
that was not the reason we took. That was not the reason we took that decision. We took that decision because of the funding pressures on the business as a whole. It's true that this business, like many businesses, needs to reward its staff effectively. We are in a competitive marketplace for staff. We do need to reward them competitively. But the amounts of bonuses paid to staff is very small compared with the capital cost of the works that we were considering at that stage. The fact of the matter is, as we've noted on several occasions, Thames in the last year has come very close to running out of money entirely. There were times in the last year when we had 5 weeks liquidity. Now, running a £20 billion corporation on 5 weeks liquidity, honestly, it's hair-raising. And what you were seeing in that decision we took in August 2023 was the start of the process. We felt we needed to conserve cash.
How can customers have any faith that you are committed to turning around the business, you are committed to reducing sewage, pollution incidents, you are committed to reducing water outages, if these 100 vital projects that you committed to the legal regulator you would do in 2019 were rowed back on?
Because, as I say, it was a funding crunch.
Customers have any faith now that what you've committed to do will be done if you row back on these commitments so easily?
It was... I don't think we rowed back on the commitments. We understand that this is work that needs to be done.
Sorry, you just said you don't...
We understand that this is work that needs to be done, and there are many, many calls on the company's cash resources. We are having to prioritise. And we prioritised asset health and the routine expenses of the business in preference to this big capital programme, which will be carried forward into this current AMP and done as the funds become available.
Just to be clear, these 100 projects, they were committed to be done in the 2019 to 24 period. Customers were charged on that basis for these works, but they weren't done. So I think you have rowed back on those commitments.
We have deferred the work. We are still committed to carry out that work, but we can't magic money out of nowhere.
But the impact of that deferral...
Our problem is that this business has been under huge funding pressures ever since I joined, and probably before. And we have to prioritise. And we prioritised asset health, getting the existing infrastructure business working more effectively.
You didn't, because these were asset health projects that you deferred.
These are projects designed to improve the asset health, but there are other priorities that we have to select.
You clearly rowed back on commitments, and the impact of that is clearly seen, as Chris just alluded to. There's been a 40% rise in pollution incidents last year under your watch. Last year, you did make profits of 140 million. So all of this talk about not having the money to do these vital infrastructure projects, I think customers will come to their own conclusions about that.
All I can say and must say is that the cash box was very nearly empty a lot of last year. We were running at one stage on 5 weeks cash. Profit is a different measure. Cash is the only measure that counts. That's what you spend.
Why pay the bonuses and the dividends?
Because we have to keep staff. This is a very competitive marketplace out there. Thames Water has very good staff. Chris has brought together a great team. And if we are unable to pay bonuses, people will come knocking. They'll try to pick out of us the best staff we've got. That is not in customers' interests.
It's very clear you pay very large bonuses to those at the top of your company. The most junior employees in your company, the people out repairing the water leaks on the roads, what percentage bonus did they get last year?
I can't tell you that, I'm afraid. I can write to you afterwards and explain that. But
we have put
in place a system.
Adrian, are you not aware of that figure? Because as the chairman of the company, if you think bonuses are so important to rewarding performance...
This is a structure of bonuses that goes right down through the company. I can't give you the precise figure. I don't know if you've got it, Chris.
It goes to the front line, and they can earn between 3 and 6% of their salary as a bonus. And in the last 2 years, they have been paid a lump sum because we haven't had the capability to structure it in a way that allows it to be performance related, and that is something that we are fixing at the moment.
So you're awarding bonuses to the lowest paid members of staff of between 3 and 5%?
3 and 6%. Yes.
3 and 6%. And how does that relate to the percentage bonuses paid to the CEO?
My on-target performance is 150, can be 156%.
So what's that?